Hey guys, this is Stephanie Farron, the Technology Facilitator at Butler High School, and this month's Tech Talk tips are about your new teacher device that you just received, which is the HP ProBook 430 laptop. Now, if you are a teacher that didn't receive an HP 430 laptop, never fear, these tips work for any new Win 10 device, desktop or laptop. So this video is great for all people. So here are the items we're going to cover. How to connect to a printer, either USB or networked with your new device. How to make a default application. So for example, if you're printing your PowerSchool progress reports, how to get the PDF to open correctly to print it in Adobe as the default application. And then finally, for you tech geeks, a new feature that is now in Windows 10 is that you can record a video directly from a device, laptop or desktop, in Win 10. You don't need a separate program. So let's take a look at how to connect to a printer. To connect to a printer, we're going to need to get into the control panel and settings to find our printers. There's a bunch of different ways to do that, but the way I like to do it is to use the magnifying glass right beside the Windows icon and then start typing in the word printers. Once you find the printers and scanners for system settings, you open it up. Now, one thing to note, you can click the Add button to add a printer or scanner, but the ones listed below under printers and scanners are the ones that are already added to your device, in case you've forgotten that you've added the printer. So if we need to add a new printer or scanner, we'll click the plus sign, and Windows will automatically start populating the printers that are connected network-wise to this computer. Obviously, this will only be at school, not at home. What you'll notice for each of them is our courier code is the beginning number 7361. Also, you'll notice that they're not in any type of numerical order. So, for example, we've got print 123, print 119, but then we have printers 013 and then 14, and so on and so forth. So we'll have to look very carefully through the list. If you find the printer you'd like, if you click on it, it will let you add the device and you're done. Now, what does it mean if I can't find my printer? Well, it could mean your printer is simply offline. It could mean your printer has somehow been disconnected from the network for a long period of time, either not being connected with the network cord or being off for a while. And in that case, you can see Ms. Farron, or you can add it manually. So I'm going to show you how to add a printer manually on this list, but if you're not very tech savvy, please do not do this because you can connect to other printers across the school district, so we don't want to do that. So what you want to do is you'll want to scroll through the list. I'm going to make you stick here, but when you get down towards the bottom, and it is not the bottom of the page, just so you know, between adding a printer and the printers and scanners that are already listed, there'll be a prompt that says the printer that I want isn't listed, and it's blue. So I'll click it. When you get that, you'll open a more traditional wizard to add a printer. So if you're adding a USB printer, a standalone printer, when you plug it in, it should automatically plug and play and install the driver and finish up the product for you. If it doesn't, this first radio button, my printer is a little older, help me find it, will be there. And it will let you go through a list to try to add your printer. Now, word of caution, at some point your printers are too old to connect to a new device. The drivers and the computer will not like each other, so don't try to force it. The one we'll want if we're going to connect a network printer that wasn't listed is the third button down. Select a shared printer. And we're going to follow the example listed right below the box. We're going to do whack whack, and then Instaprint, INSTPRINT. Our server is 02, okay, and then another whack, and then we're going to do our courier code, which is 7361. And then once we start doing that and print, it should start populating my list. If it doesn't, let's try it one more time. I have misspelled something. See, when I hit that second whack, how it pulled up my list? 7361, and then the word print, and then you got to know your print number for your computer, for your printer. If you don't, please don't guess. Okay, so for example, if I want to install printer 001, I can find it in the list or I can type it. And when I click next, it will connect to that printer, and then you can finish it with a test page. Remember, setting default is still the same. The printer that has the check mark is the one that is the default. Okay? And you can change that if you accidentally install a printer you don't want to keep. For example, this one, when I click on it, I can open the queue. Remember, opening the queue will allow me to delete any of the print jobs that are under my login. I can manage it or I can remove it, so it will go away, so I don't keep it on my computer. So that's how you add printers to your device. Next, we're going to be talking about how to make a default application. So what you need to know is you've got a new device, you've opened it up, regardless of whatever type of device it is. A computer is intuitive, but only so intuitive. So the first time you open up a file type, for example, .docx, which is Word, the computer needs to know that that type of application always goes with that software. And it tries to think for you, but sometimes it makes a mistake, and that's where that default application comes up. So let's talk about PowerSchool, making sure some things are installed, and how to change and make our default applications. First things first, when I'm in PowerSchool and I go to launch my gradebook, one of the things you want to make sure is that the icon launches correctly. Now, if you've gotten your updates and you left your computer logged in, you shouldn't have a problem. But if it doesn't, then you would simply click the arrow button and then come to the Launch Installer, which I already had pulled up. You'll want to download that installer, follow the instructions, and then launch your gradebook. You'll know it's wrong if the little book and the pencil do not open. Okay, so again, it's that default application, and it also means you didn't get your updates when your computer installed. Once we launch our gradebook, we're going to look at the reports for PowerSchool. So normally when I'm in PowerSchool and I click Reports, an individual student report, I will simply get this box and I'll click Open the report. Now you'll know this is incorrect if when you open the report, it automatically opens in yet another window in a web browser. That is not what you want it to do, because then it will not print correctly. I can't print forward to a page. I can't make those changes. A good rule of thumb to start with is instead of opening the report is clicking Save the report. So when you save the report, it's going to ask you where you want the report saved. It doesn't matter which one you choose or what you call it. I'm going to save it to my desktop, okay, so you can see it. So once I do that, I have it actually already saved. You'll know if it's incorrect because when I get back to my desktop and I look at the individual student view, I'll see that my icon, instead of having the correct application tied to it, it's incorrect. So if you look at this one, it's got the E for Internet Explorer. So if I open it, it's going to open in my browser, and that's not what I want it to do. I need it to open in Acrobat Reader or Adobe Acrobat. So I'm going to want to change that. There are two ways you can make your default applications. You can come down into your magnifying glass and start typing default applications or default app settings. And when you go in, you can choose the default apps for each of the things. So for example, if you're going to play a music video or a video, your computer is selecting VLC Media Player as that, and you can change that to say Windows Media Player if that's what you want. Or when you have the application, if you'll right click on the application, okay, there's an open button, but if you click open, it's just going to open in whatever browser or whatever application the computer has chosen, or there's an open with slightly further down. There may or may not be icons listed there like mine, okay, but if you'll come down to the very last one that says choose another app, the computer is going to try to give you an app or an option. If not, you can select more. I think that's at the bottom there, more apps. You can click that and get even more. When you find the app that you know goes with it, okay, and in this case it is Adobe Reader, then you also want to check the box that says always use this application to open PDF files. If in doubt, if you Google .pdf, Google will tell you that PDF files are always opened with Acrobat. So then you know which one to choose. Once I do that, it will automatically open in the correct format and I can print it. It will also change the little icon to make sure it matches for me. So that's how you know if you've got it correct, if the icons match the file format, okay? So if you're pulling a different file format than you pulled before, you may, because you have a new device, need to make sure that you tell the device that that is what it needs to be. Finally, our last piece of advice is how to record directly from the laptop. Now, this one's really hard for me to show you because I can't record inside a recording. So I'm going to show you what the screenshots look like, and there'll be a handout if you're interested. Okay, so it has to do with Xbox, which is now an app that's installed on your computer. So what you're going to do is you're going to use the Windows button, which is in the bottom left-hand corner. It's the third button across before you get to the space bar, and the letter G. The first time you open it, you'll get, do you want to open this game bar? And you say, yes, this is a game. And then the next box below it will come up, and you'll want to click Record or Camera. This will allow you to record directly on your computer without having a different software application to record. Now, there's some pluses and minuses to this. One, it's great if you want to show your students real quickly something that you're doing. It will not show the cursor like this video. It will not allow you to click from, say, Internet Explorer to PowerPoint back to the desktop. Whatever you have open is what it will record in, and that is it. So you've got to think carefully on that. And it won't let you record just the desktop. It's actually designed to record games and then play it back like Xbox. When you hit stop, it automatically saves the game into your video files as an MP4 that then you can then upload or play again. So there's some pluses and minuses to it, but what's really cool is that it's already there and it's installed on all your desktops. So you can see that really quickly. Maybe you just want your students to record what they've done so you can see it. Maybe you want to just record something so that the kids can come back and see it. And that's a really quick thing to do instead of having to install and download software and then set it up. So those are the 3 tips for your computer. Let me know if there's something else that you're dying to know what to do on your computer with, and have a great week.